Hi Vanner Fanner family, and if you're watching for the first time, my name is CrystalVanner and I live in my van.
Welcome to my channel. I'm CrystalVanner and I live in my van. Please watch the whole video so we can grow the family, the channel, and the content.
Thank you for watching another video. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for clicking. Don't forget to do that thumbs up, subscribe button if you find my videos interesting. Like them, share them, and if you're not finding them interesting and you're doing a thumbs down, go in the comments and tell me why. Today, I'm going to be doing my upgraded battery, which I'm upgrading from 2 smaller batteries to 1 big battery, but I will be adding an additional second battery to that as well later. I am going to relocate a few things around because I'm not going to be putting the bigger battery where the 2 small batteries are right now. I'm going to be swapping it further back so that I can make room for that second battery. And I'll be neatening up some of the wiring as well that I have back there. So I'll show you what it looks like before, talk about what I've done to the before, and then I will put the new battery in, explain that, and show you where it's going to be located. Now, I tell you now to let you know that where the new battery is going to be located is a little bit of a darker area, so the camera quality might not be as good on the cell phone. I will try and illuminate it as best I can back there because it's going to be partially next to my bed and kind of under my beds partially. So it's in a kind of in a back area that's going to allow for me to put the second battery back there as well, because where the 2 small ones are, there's no way to put the 2 bigger batteries there. So plus, I want to relocate something to where those small batteries are because that's where it used to be and it just functions better in that space. So bear with me in this video. I'll fast forward through the boring parts and I'll explain things as I go. Okay, so currently my small batteries are here in my side door, my barn doors. So that's where they are. They are the Matty Max batteries. Okay, and they are 35 amp hours each, which gave me 70 amp hours. So I'm moving up to a bigger battery, which I'll show you in a minute. And so it's going to be relocated back here, the bigger one, the new one that I'm getting. And I've got to make sure I've got room for 2 because my toilet's back here. So I've got to make sure I have room for 2. So 1 might partially go under the bed back there. As you can see, this is the foot of my bed. I've been housing some items here behind my toilet. My porta potty usually sits here. But, so this crate is what I use when I do laundry. This is the one that I use to bring the laundry in after folding. It's a collapsible crate. I'll make sure it's in the Amazon store, if Amazon has them. And I also have a outdoor carpet and a small chair here. Those are both as well coming out because this is where the new battery is going to be. And again, remember, I'm trying to make space for a second battery to be added probably in a couple of weeks. So those items are going to come out since everything's getting relocated. So I will sweep the floor down there. It's a little filthy. And that 1 battery should be able to go here. And the second battery will probably go partially underneath the bed. I might actually put this first one partially under the bed so that the second one can go there, easier access to it, and I won't have to pull out as much stuff to add the second battery. So I'm going to go grab the battery and figure out the best position for it, and then Okay, so here is the battery. It is a Walmart Everstart Deep Cycle battery. I will put a picture of it and I will put a link of it down below. And you can see if your Walmart has it or if they can ship it to store or what have you. I had to ship mine to my friends in North Carolina. Thank you so much, Mr. P and Ms. K, for letting me do that. I am actually down here in North Carolina getting this put on. And like I said, I will be adding a second one. So I'm going to shift the camera angle just a bit and lower it so you can see exactly where this one is going to go and where I put it. Okay, so this is where it's going to go. This is the foot of my bed. So what I'm planning on doing, hopefully, if this works, is putting it partially under the bed. I don't know if that's really makes sense. It's not really going to be under the bed. Because I have this leg here. At some point, this bed is going to get remade. But I know that I'm going to have 2 of these. And I know that my toilet goes here. So 1 One will be here, because that way I can still turn my back seat around. And this thing is heavy. I will tell you that now. I actually think I'm going to turn it this way. So it'll go there. And then a second one will most likely go right here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. So this is the location of one of the batteries. Once I have two, this will be the location of one. I'm not sure if I'm going to start out with one here and then put the other where it's going to go, or if I'm going to put this one in the most awkward position and then put the new one here, which is a little easier to get to. I think in my mind that makes the most sense, so that is most likely what I'm going to do. So everybody, I have started the process and completely forgot to start filming. So I only did one thing. I'll show you on the other end what I'm doing. So if you're like me, you bought an inverter that has this end on it. I no longer want these ends. I bought these terminal fittings from Amazon, and I'll link it below in the pinned comment. So I was able to find this multi-pack of terminal fittings. So now I'm going to be cutting these off so that I can have the actual fittings that go on the battery terminal and not have this clamped on. I was always so scared that one of these would pop off and start a fire, or just pop off and my batteries my inverter wouldn't work, or nothing would, it would throw the whole system off. So these are great if you're going to be putting your inverter directly onto your starter battery, but when you're working with a system like this, you kind of want everything on the battery terminal, the little metal part on the terminal. So I'm going to give you a better camera view of how I am cutting this and stripping it, and I'm probably not doing it professionally because all I have are these little teeny itty bitty ones and they hurt my hand. So I'm kind of using some scissors to help me out a little bit too. And I crimp them, and I'm going to wrap them in tape. And so I've already done the negative one. So here's the negative one. It's all good to go, wrapped in black tape. I have red tape for the positive one. So I'm going to show you how I did the positive one. So I'll change the camera angle so you can see a little bit better. FYI, if you would like this shirt, whatever you are not changing, you are choosing, it's in my Teespring. Shameless plug. So here's my positive terminal end. And I am just cutting off this end here, just like I did with the negative, just cutting it right off directly with scissors. The wires are a little bit thick, and these probably aren't the best scissors for this job. But like you see, it works. Now you have your rubber wrapped wire. And so because I'm using this smaller crimper that I got at, Home Depot in a pack, really cheap, I'm eventually going to get me some better ones, but this is what I'm working with. So right now I'm just cutting the rubber with some scissors because, like I said, that crimper set, splicer and crimper thing will not get through this rubber. And yeah, you run the risk of cutting a couple of wires, but one or two little wires out of all of these wires should not be an issue. You just got to be real careful not to cut too deep. Just take the tip of the scissors and cut through the rubber. You can kind of bend it to see how much more rubber you have to cut. And I'm not going to fast forward through this. I know it's pretty boring, but I just want you to see in real time what I'm doing. So I will apologize right now for that. And so if you have strong hands, you can pull it off. I don't have strong hands, but I cut it in such a way that I was able to wiggle it loose. So you can just take that piece off. That's done. I got a couple of loose wires here that got cut, but I'm not going to worry about them. There's so many wires in a strand here that it should be fine. So what I do is I normally just kind of twist it to twist all the wires together. Just give it a little twist, and also it helps it go into the fitting end a little bit easier too. So I'm going to choose the same fitting that I chose for the other one. Let me look at the number. And I think it was this one because I had a little more of these. So I'm using the SC16-8. I know you can't see that number, but in this kit, that's the one I'm using because I have 4 of those. And I don't want to use those big ones in case I get any bigger wires at some point because these wires are not that big. So I don't really need the huge fittings. And so then I'm going to just crimp this. The way that I crimp this is going to be out of camera view, because I need the, I use the step as leverage. So my step here on the van, I put this on the step and I press down on the top with my hand. Because I don't have good grip strength, I cannot grip this with my hand alone. It's excruciatingly difficult and painful. So I'm going to just go down so you won't be able to see this part. Just know that you're crimping this, and I crimp it in two places. So I crimp it right here at the top where the wires are pushed all the way in, and then I crimp it again kind of in the middle. So I tend to crimp in two places so I know that that end is going to stay on. Again, I'm going to do this off camera just to crimp this. It's really, really difficult. And I will show you when I'm done what the crimp looks like before I wrap it with the electrical tape. All right, that's one crimp done. And second crimp being done. There we go. So I can't pull this very far because these cables are short, but I'll put it as close to the camera. How about I move the camera? So there you go. There's a crimp at the top end and one kind of in the middle, and that's not coming off. Okay, so then I'm going to just wrap it with my red electrical tape. Not that it really matters if you only have black, because these wires themselves are already color coded. So I wrap at the top, and I wrap a couple times around this metal because I don't want it to like poke through and rip the tape. Then I wrap down onto the wire a couple of times, just so it's a nice little seal. I usually cut at an angle. Don't ask me why I do that. I don't know. I feel like it just looks better, and you can pull it and wrap it nice and tight. And so now we've got my positive and my negative coming off of my inverter, which is still, you know, on the wall. It's attached to the wall. So there's my positive and negative. I'm so glad to be rid of those stupid clamp ends. I know they serve a purpose, but they don't serve a purpose for me. So that's that. Now, another thing I am working on is I'm going to be directly attaching, I bought these at Amazon and I'll link them as well below. So I'm going to be attaching these 12-volt ports directly to my battery so they bypass the inverter. I do not want to always have to turn my inverter on to charge my cell phone and tablet. So I'm going to be using one of those 12-volt cigarette plugs that has the 2 USB ports in it, and I'll be able to plug my cell phone and tablet cord right in there, and I can bypass my inverter. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time now. So on the end here, I know it's difficult to see, but there's a plus and a minus. It tells you which one is the positive and a negative port, and it comes with 3 sets of wires. It comes with 3 of the plugs and 3 sets of wires. So I'll open this and show it to you. And this is going to go directly to the battery terminal. It has a fuse. Okay, your positive and negative wires. I do believe I'm going to have to change these fittings because I don't think they're, they're a little too small for my battery terminal. So I'll be cutting these off and doing the same thing that I just did. So here's your battery, your negative and positive. And on the other end, it has these little ends. I don't know what they're called. I'm sure somebody in comments will. And you just slip those onto the plugs. And boom, you're in business. It does have a plastic cover to slide up over, and I believe that's some kind of heat shrink. I don't have a heat gun, so what I'm probably going to do is just wrap tape around it. I'll slide the plastic cover over and then wrap my tape around it. But for right now, we're going to do the same thing we just did. We're going to cut these off. I have some smaller ones that'll fit on my battery terminal, and I'm going to replace them with these because I'm trying to put them on, and they fit the old small batteries, but they're not going to fit this larger battery. So let's do that, and that I will fast forward through. So you'll hear, you won't have to watch me do that whole thing again. Just know it's the same thing. I'm going to be using these fittings because, as you can see, that hole is smaller for this wire to go in. But this terminal is big enough to fit on my battery. So I'm getting all my things done before I start putting them onto my battery. So again, I'll fast forward so you don't have to watch this. Okay, so I'm going to be doing another one of those. I'm going to have 2 USB ports, just because one's going to be for my refrigerator. My refrigerator also plugs into a 12-volt socket. So I'm going to wire up another one of these 12-volt sockets for my refrigerator because it has a 110 plug and a 12-volt plug. So this way I don't have to worry about that slipping out, and it's connected again directly to the battery. So I'm going to be plugging that in. Okay, so I've taken all of my positives, all of my negatives, and put them in their appropriate places. I have my light hung up that's connected to the battery. I have my 2 USB, not USB, but 12-volt ports that are connected as well. So I'm going to neaten up these wires a little bit so that I can figure out where I'm going to hang those 12-volt ports and see how far up they'll go so they're accessible. However, I think I'm going to keep one low just because the refrigerator cord is going to be on the floor under my little rug. And so I'll keep that one low for that refrigerator port. I need to pull out that refrigerator plug to see how long it is. And then I'll determine where I'm going to put that port. The other port I want a little bit at the midway or high range to access it for my cell phone and tablet. So I will go inside and I'll show you where I decide to put those. Okay, so I thought long and hard about where I was going to be putting these 12-volt sockets. This one is the one for my refrigerator. And the other one I'll show you by the door. It's in a perfect spot. But this is the refrigerator one, and I have it plugged in and the power is working, so I'll show you that as well. These were actually meant to go into a dash. These 12-volt sockets, but you can use them for anything really. So what I'm going to be doing is I'll tighten up the wires with some little, the twist ties that came with them. But I think I'm going to put this one right here next to the inverter. Even though it's not attached to the inverter at all, the battery's right down near this. And also it helps keep the wire from the actual refrigerator, the plug, out of the way as well. I didn't want it down too low. I didn't want to run the risk of hitting it with the toilet because the toilet goes kind of in this area. It'll go bumped up against the second battery once I get it, which will be out of the way. But yeah, I didn't want to risk it being down too low. I wanted to still be able to access it from either the door side when I'm working on my power or inside. So I didn't want it too out of the way. So I'll show you how I am attaching these. If you are familiar with any of my videos, especially my older videos, especially when I was in Not Your Mama's Van, you know that I use these plastic plumbing strip things. They come in a roll, usually a long roll like this, and I just cut off whatever length I need for whatever job I'm working on. And I've taken them off of different things in different setups, and I put them on different things, like in front of my bookcase. I had them so this stuff wouldn't fall off the bookcase. They're excellent for all kinds of uses. So that's what I'm using to put these up against the wall. They're working out perfectly. Like I said, I've already done the one. So I'm going to cut this end off and have a fresh end. I'm cutting off one little circle that's been used before. As you can see, a screw was in there. So it's a bigger hole. I want to start with a fresh hole that's not as big, like that. So I'm going to get a small screw because you don't need much. These are not, they're not heavy, so you don't need to put a heavy duty screw or a really long screw because I don't want to hit anything back behind here. And what I'm going to do, since I'm putting that one about right here, just about right in that area, like right there, I'm just going to take this. It's going to be a little bit difficult. I actually might have to do it a little higher because this will be hard to get it on once I put the screw in there. So we might have to do this one a little bit higher. Maybe we'll do it on the side right here. Yeah, maybe we'll do it on the side. So I'll keep it at the same length that I was going to do it. All right, so I'll get my drill. And here's my strap. Of course, this is more than I need. I'll cut when I'm done. And let me just gauge it again. That's looking about right. Here's my drill. So we're just going to drill right into the wood that's behind here. There we go. And then I take my plastic strap here and I have screwed this little piece down. Let me readjust my focus for you. So I've screwed this little piece down. Like I said, this goes on a, whatchamacallit, it's really meant for a dashboard. You know, if you're going to put it in your dashboard, like to have extra 12 volts in your dash. So this screws down to as low as you want. I actually did not realize that. I could have just taken it off completely, which I still can if I want. But I like the fact that I can screw it down so I can fit this in, and then I can screw it up and tighten it against that. So that's kind of a plus. So we're going to unplug their fridge for now that I know the power is working. I'm going to put this gray strapping around here, and then I'm going to tighten as much as I can. And then I see where a hole is right there, and then I can put another screw in that hole. It's hard to do this one-handed. And I'm going to try and get you a little bit of light here. I do have this light. If that helps, I don't know. This is a very awkward situation with everything being dark and black on black or black on gray. But I'm screwing into the hole in the strap. Ugh. And my screw keeps coming off the end of my drill because my tip is not magnetized for some reason. Thought it was, but I guess it is not. There we go. Don't fall off, screw. And then I see a hole right here, and I'm just going to tighten it up as best I can. Make sure it's even-ish. And then we're just going to drill right into that wood. There you go. And then I'll cut this excess strap off. There we go. Can you see that? It is up there with the strap. Whoops, let's turn that light back up higher. There we go. And it's sitting right there. This is my 12-volt socket for my cigarette lighter. Now what I'm going to, for my refrigerator. Now I'm going to take this screw thing like I was saying, and I can just tighten it up. It's pretty tight right now. So I don't think I need to wiggle it or tighten it any further. I measured it quite well. And then this is the plug. This is the plug for my refrigerator. Remember I told you it came with a 110 and a 12 volt. So that's the 12 volt. The light flashed. The power button is illuminated. Even though I don't have it turned on, that power button stays illuminated once there's power, just to let you know there's power. Now what I'm going to do is take, what'd I do with it? I'm going to take this little, twist tie that came with these. And I'm going to twist tie these up a little bit. I'm actually going to unplug it because I don't like the way those wires are hanging. Oh, of course it won't unplug. It won't unplug very easily. All right. I'm not sure, but I've got these wires hanging in an odd position. All right, let me go around and take the wires off the battery and place them right underneath here so I can tighten them up as best as possible. And then I'll show you. Okay, I am completely done. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what everything looks like now inside. I'm going to put the toilet back where it goes normally so you can see in relation to where everything normally is stored how it looks. Okay, so here's the battery, the new battery. Again, I changed my mind and put it where the old 2 batteries were because the second battery is going to go back behind the porta potty. Here is the first 12-volt plug that I plugged in directly to the battery. And that houses my tablet and cell phone charger. And that way, if someone's sitting in this seat visiting me, they can just, pull one of those out and plug in their cell phone if they want. Or if I'm sitting in this seat, I can plug in my cell phone there while I'm filming in this chair. That gives me access to having a cord, and a live, hot, active cord at all times. That's why I plugged it directly to the battery. I don't have to have my inverter on at all, unless I have something specific like the computer or something like that. But I still think I'm going to get a 12-volt plug for my computer so I don't have to worry about any inverter at all, unless I absolutely have to. And here we are inside. This is where the porta potty sits. This is where the litter that I use in the bag method for my porta potty sits. Here is that plug again on the inside that has the cell phone and tablet in it. It also is used to charge these two USB lights that I use on a regular basis. And then here is the second 12-volt plug here that has got my refrigerator in it. And I will show you that my refrigerator has power. It's not turned on, but the power button is illuminated, so I know that it's getting power. There's no food that I need to be refrigerated, so we'll definitely do a video on that now that I have power and can run it. I will go to the grocery store and get some food that needs to be refrigerated, like some salad and stuff. And I have a fridge now that's working. I'm so excited. And as you can see, it's a nice, pretty big fridge for one person. It's got a freezer and fridge. And that divider comes out to make it one big fridge or one big freezer. Again, I'll do a video separately on that. The cord is here, and it runs under this rug, this little lightweight rug. And then behind there, and plugs right into the 12-volt right there. So I did neaten up that bundle of wires there with a Velcro strap that I had. So that's nice and neat. And I also neatened up these here at the top with a Velcro strap. So those are neat. The other loose wires are wires that I use on a regular basis. Tablet wire, cell phone wire, and the USB lights that charge wire. Let's take a look at what we're bringing in here. It's cloudy. It's a cloudy day today. So let's see what we've got going on. We are at 12.7 volts and at 82%. Again, the sun just went away. I am currently parked in the shade. I was in full sun, but the sun is moving. It's afternoon. So, but I'm good. That is actually more than enough for me for this, tablet and cell phone and all that. Now, if I were to unplug these lights as they were, these two charging USB lights, it would go up a little. But yeah, I'm good to go. All set up. Excited to get a second battery, which will sit right back there, like I said, and I'll have even more juice. So thanks for watching another video from start to finish without skipping. Don't forget to share, thumbs up, and comment down below whether you thumbs up or thumbs down. I'll see you next time. You can help grow the family by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Get your own Vanner stickers, tees, and hoodies. And for exclusive content, check out Patreon.